Hey YouTubers, I got my 16 valve Cummins 96. Training went out, even though I rebuilt it about 3 years ago, but I forgot to flush my radiator. So that's why I had to go get a new one. Got lucky, Bob Truster, thank God for him. He hooked me up. It was $600, and these things are really rare. I mean, it was plus the core was like 75 and taxes, whatever. But I'm gonna do like a brief video on how to remove it the fastest way that I figured out. I did it like 3 years ago, so it's relatively. First of all, get out your drive shaft, which I go from way up in the back. I'm gonna try to. Yeah, it's literally 4 bolts, and then 2 bigger boys that are like right over here. So that's 6 bolts, or yeah, 6 bolts. And then what I do is I take this mounting bracket, but I actually take it off of the actual frame. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. I know my phone sucks, so I take there's 4 on each side. Pop those off, but I'll take 3 of them off on each side. I'll put a jack underneath here, obviously. And then I got my little cover on, but this doesn't matter because it's an automatic and it is a 47 RE. You're gonna have to take off the starter to get the flywheel off. That's a little pain in the butt, but it's doable. But yeah, my biggest thing was I didn't flush it 3 years ago. Whenever I rebuilt the transmission, I had a lot of time on my hands in the wintertime here in Pennsylvania, and it was a long process. I think I did it about 2 weeks, but it is what it is. Gotta live and learn. And the starter is right over there. So to get the starter off, well, it's actually only on 2 bolts. Unhook the battery, the whole 9 yards. But basically that is about the fastest way that I figured out how to take it off. And this thing is huge. And believe it or not, I did it the first time. Whenever I did it, I actually did it by myself. All I did was I put 2 straps, open up the doors, made them go through the actual cabin of the doors. Yes, my truck is a freaking mess, but I made it go through, basically through and around. Got the straps up nice and hard. That way, once that train did drop, I still had a jack underneath it, but that way it wouldn't all balance. It is a 2-wheel drive. I didn't have a transfer case. It was so much easier. And that's the Acura that I ended up picking up my boss's freaking using my boss's car. Got some oil in there, and oil is a pain in the butt. That's only 6, 7. I bought 16 total, but I put in 1 1/4 in the torque converter already. The torque converter was a little bit crappy, so I did flush it out, and I wasn't cheap about it. I know they're $5 each, but I wasn't cheap about it, so I ended up wasting $10 to flush out the torque converter, which was, I mean, it's in relatively good shape. I mean, now because I used brake cleaner on the video, it doesn't look too good, but whenever I did have it out, it was it looked like this transmission looks like it was rebuilt from my point of view, because as soon as I started spraying it, the silver started coming off. So I'm assuming that it was rebuilt. I mean, it had to be. The truck has 200 and had 230,000 miles on it. And my truck, the reason why it's a work truck, it's ugly as hell, but you know what? I love it because it's a work truck. I can throw anything in. And this is another reason why You can see clearly I have 532,308 miles on it, and this thing still gets 20 miles to a gallon, which shocks everybody, but you know, they don't know what 12 valves actually mean. I believe whenever in 2008, when people started realizing this, in 2009, Dodge Chrysler actually I'm sure they had a really great meeting, and that's why they came up with the 24 valve, because these engines run to 1,000,000 miles, and hell, it's not worth it for them. I mean, how could it be? You know, if it runs for that long, it's not profitable. So now I'll show you guys my sweet face. There you go. You guys got it. Any questions, give me a like. I don't give a shit about that. I'm doing this for fun, or helping anybody out, because it is a pain in the butt. All right, later, y'all.